y'all. Welcome to the Dosage of Drea show, episode 7.
Let's go.
So today's dose is Life of a Producer. So a music producer, they help their artists record their songs, albums, projects. They're the mastermind behind a lot of the work. So who can tell you better than a producer himself?
Let's go.
So today's guest is Cleveland producer Savage Royale.
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on?
Yeah, we're out here. Life of a Producer.
Episode 7.
Hey, my lucky number, too. I was excited. It's meant to be. Yeah, it is. It's meant to be, man. Number 7.
Thanks. So how long have you been producing?
It's been a minute now. I would say I've been producing in terms of making beats for at least over 10 years, but in terms of producing and working with artists and recording songs, producing albums, that's probably been last maybe 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your musical background? Would you say like you are leaning towards one, or like are you versatile? Like you want to do all kinds? Like,
well, in terms
what you grow up doing?
I started as a drummer. I'm really a drummer. I've been playing drums for over 20 years.
Okay,
so
and you play for the Cavaliers too,
I
right?
do, yeah. The Cavaliers has 216 sticks. Those are my guys. Shout out.
I be seeing y'all, but y'all be doing y'all thing. I see it.
It's a good time. Everybody in there kind of comes from their own background of music.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of different styles of percussion and drumming in that group. So it's a good group of guys.
Yeah.
But that's how I started out as a drummer when I was younger.
Okay.
And then by the time I got to the college, college years, I started producing.
So was it like home life? Like was anybody in your family into music, or did you grow up in church?
Yeah. Oh, definitely grew up in church. My father's a pastor.
Okay.
He's been a pastor now for probably like 15 years, but I definitely grew up playing drums in church. But he's also a singer as well as my sister.
So it run in the family then.
Yeah, I got singers in the family. I definitely have other musicians in the family for sure.
Okay, so how did you know that you wanted to be a music producer?
I feel like that came from over time. I grew up playing drums, and then once I started really making beats, my early years in making beats and producing, I wasn't doing it for artists. Mm-hmm. I was just making beats, because I was just new to it, and it really wasn't in my mind to work with artists yet. But what happened was I didn't finish college, which is another story.
Okay.
I didn't finish.
What were you going for?
Music production.
Okay.
I didn't. I left after the first year. I started rapping because I didn't have any equipment at that point. So I rapped for probably like a few years. But then the moment I got a laptop, I was right back to producing. But at that point, since I'd already started working with rappers and artists in that aspect,
got into it more.
Then it was closer with like artists. Before when I was at school, they call it the MIDI lab. It was a room with a bunch of computers. I'm skipping class to go make beats. But I'm just in there making beats,
So did you already like have the equipment and stuff from being in school, like to make beats?
I didn't take it. I didn't. Once I left, I started rapping because I didn't have any equipment.
Okay,
I had nothing.
You got your laptop and stuff.
And once I got that laptop, I got Fruity Loops. All the producers know about Fruity Loops, and that got back to it. And then over time, just bought more equipment, things like that.
Okay, so if you could produce a track for any artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Dead or alive, any artist, one track. I don't know why Michael Jackson just comes up, but I'll have to try.
That's a legend.
That is a legend.
That's a legend.
But even I wouldn't want to solely produce that track. I would want to co-produce that track with Quincy Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, that's even more epic. You know what I'm saying?
That's legendary.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so do you write lyrics like when you making a beat? Like, are you like writing? Oh, by the way, this is the home edition right here because the greatest producers start in the motherfucking basement.
That's right.
So just had to add that in there. So, do you write your own lyrics like for a beat? Like, do you ever like listen to a beat and like, damn, this is what I want him to say or her to say when you listen to it?
A lot of times when producing records in that aspect, working with the artist kind of has their own foundation for what they want to do. But I have assisted with lyrics. A lot of times you're in the moment and things start to happen in terms of trying to catch the vibe. So sometimes I'll hear an artist mumbling something. I'll be like, yo, what'd you just say right there? Oh, I said blah, blah, blah. No, that's it right there. So more so direction of lyrics, but I don't necessarily sit down and write. Some producers do, and I guess you might think me rapping before maybe I would write for people, but
that just made me want to ask you, do you work with a lot of female artists?
Not as much as I should. Okay. And there's no reason for that. I just don't. But I
haven't gotten around.
I've worked with a few though. I enjoy working with female artists.
So would you like produce like R&B pop type stuff or?
I would. I would, and it's a thin line between that nowadays. I feel like I've produced those records and that sound, but for a more melodic male artist.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, I feel like that's just what comes naturally. Like, even me, like, I want to start getting more female artists or whatever on my show. Like, I haven't interviewed a female yet. So.
They're out here, and I've really been exposed to them more recently, you know, and trying to tap in with them. And there is a lot of dope artists in Cleveland. You
saying, like, when you said what you say, like, don't say that, that just made me think, because I was watching, like, Lizzo about her come up. Like, she was just saying how she made her breakthrough song, which was Truth Hurts, and it didn't blow up until 2 years after she made it. The producer was just like, she just got dumped by her boyfriend, basically. He left her for someone, and she was basically, he was like, just to let all your feelings out. She was just dogging him, and then he was writing them down as she's saying it, writing it down. And he was like, you just made a song.
That's it right there. So, and honestly, that's really, when people think about producing, they think about me physically playing the keyboard or playing drums or doing something physical. But a lot of times producing is direction. I don't have to touch anything to produce. You know, I don't have to touch a computer. I don't have to touch an instrument. You know, it's having a connection with an artist enough to see their vision. And sometimes that can be like, that's too. Exactly, you know, and sometimes that can be just words. So it's definitely a skill.
So what makes a song good to you? Like, as far as composition, production, arrangement, like all of that?
It makes a song good. I mean, you want a song to be memorable. So there's like this element of simplicity in a way where it's not doing too much. That's why, from one of the artists that I love is Dr. Dre. When you listen to his
that's definitely one of my favorite producers, Dr. Dre, Timbaland. You might hear me referencing something from them in this interview, but like I love them, Pharrell. But just them two is my favorites.
But even Pharrell, like, you'll listen to a lot of their songs, there's really not a lot going on in the song, like sound wise, you know. So finding a balance between the sounds and leaving space for the artist and things that are memorable, like a good hook, something that is catchy. You know, those things are some of the things that I look for in like a good song.
Okay, so how good does your communication have to be with the artists that you're working with? Because I know you're working with like different people every day. Everybody has a different personality. You have a different personality.
Yeah.
So how well does the communication have to be, or do you feel like it's not that important? Like, let's just keep it.
It's very important. I've not worked with people that I still am friends with just because communication may not be there, or even sometimes you don't really connect on the vision, you know? And I think part of the reason why I've kind of gotten good at producing, like I said, once again, it's not so much about touching any equipment, is letting the artist say what they want and me listening to the artist.
And trying to critique it.
And not even critique it, just like doing exactly what they're like, because I'm here to help the artist. Like, I'm not producing anything for anybody else. I'm here purely to
bring their vision to life.
I'm a bridge to the artist's vision, you know? So one of the key skills about producing is to be a listener, to like listen to the artist before I do anything, you know? Okay. So that being said, communication is key. You know?
For sure. So what are some of the skills that you think are important that a producer should have?
Some aspect of music, you know, a good ear for music. I'm not saying every producer has to know how to play the piano and know all their notes and scales and like super music theory, but some concept,
some type of skill.
Like an ear for music, you know, and always wanting to learn about music history.
Okay, so has there ever been a time, because I heard Timbaland say, quote unquote, I get offended when somebody don't like my shit. So have you ever been offended? Has someone ever not liked the beat and you were offended?
I won't be offended, but I won't be offended, but I'll just be like, deep inside, depending on what I feel about the beat, I'll be like, dang, they like that one. But the crazy thing is, I may show an artist like 4 or 5 beats, and one of the beats, I'm like, yeah, this the one they really gonna like. They'll like it, and they'll be like, oh, that's cool. And then the one beat that I would put like number 5 be the one they want.
Okay.
It happens all the time.
Okay.
But honestly, that's the story behind A Milli. You know, A Milli with Lil Wayne. That song wasn't supposed to be anything. Lil Wayne was just kind of doing what he was doing. It wasn't even supposed to be on there. That ended up being probably one of the biggest songs.
It was, and that's how he is. I mean, that's the type of artist he is. I mean, he's just so great.
But that's music, you know, and in producing, you try to like make something that you think the artist wants, but sometimes the artist wants you to make something to take them somewhere different. That they never, like, they already made that song, so why would they want to make that song again? They want you to give them something that's like fresh. But as producers, we can get caught up in like, oh, I'm gonna make a beat for, like I heard Future say it, I don't want you to make a Future type of beat. Give me a beat that you would give Drake.
But you will also get them people that like, let me get a Future type beat. You know, I didn't hear Timbaland say he has sampled the same song like 8 times or more. Like
keep flipping it.
Just keep flipping it. Exactly.
Yeah, people want to hear something different.
So, do you put tags on your beats?
I haven't in a while now.
Do you want to?
Not necessarily. I mean,
or you want people to hear your shit and be like, "That's a Savage Royale beat." Like when I hear Dr. Dre beat or
you know it's
I know it's them.
Pharrell don't got no tag on
Pharrell.
Pharrell.
Say Keith, fuck these niggas up, man. I don't have to hear that.
But that really goes into the skill of the producer. Like Pharrell is so unique that like you can listen to it and in 5 seconds know it's Pharrell or Kanye. Sure. Like you ever heard a Kanye tag? No. Right. One of the greatest producers of all time. So like I don't,
Right. They haven't even have the artists now.
I feel like that's a hip hop box though. That question comes from hip hop.
Right. Like I know a Juicy J beat when I hear it. Like.
But what I'm saying is, as a producer, I can produce any genre. You don't hear any tags on Adele's music. You don't hear any tags on R&B or like a soul or a jazz record that's been produced. You know, so like I think that's like a hip hop box. But like, yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any beats tucked away? From years ago that you haven't given to anyone yet or that you want to use but you just haven't found the right fit. Because fun fact, Stir Fry by Migos, that's Pharrell's beat, that was created in 2008 I believe for an unreleased T.I. song and he gave it to Migos in 2018. The song that T.I. was supposed to do on that never came out. And Pony by Timbaland, he had that beat for 7 years.
To my Pony?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Genuine's Pony. Yeah, Timbaland had that beat for 7 years before he gave it to Genuine.
Wow. So. I've had beats that have been reborn.
Okay.
And because what happens is like I feel a lot of times when I get down to those beats, I'm really in a more deeper connection with the artist, to where they like, yo, give me something. Like, what else you got? Like I heard what you just made 2 weeks ago or yesterday, but what you got? You know? Yeah. Then I go through the folders and I end up in a folder from like 2020 and be some random beat and they be like, yo.
So you got something for safekeeping then, like
there's beats in there and I don't think they're in there because I'm trying to keep them for a rainy day. I just as a producer, you just be making beats all the time. You just
make so many that you just
And sometimes you'll end up back in those folders and back in those files and you might find a vibe that you have been away from and then it kind of hits you again.
Right. So like
that
song you skip all the time and then you go back and listen to it, you're like, damn, this shit fire
on.
For real.
Exactly. And sometimes you'll make beats before their time. Like, it's not time for that yet.
Exactly. And I feel like that about even Travis Porter. Like
Travis Porter?
Yes. They was made before, they was dropping shit before their time. Like, if they was coming out now, they would be still on right now.
Yeah.
So do you feel you have to leave Cleveland to gain the success that you want?
Not at all.
You feel like you can make it happen here?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to grow and you want to be as big as you can, yes. But I feel like you can make it happen anywhere.
Mm-hmm. That's
now,
true.
I used to think so. My thing when I was in high school and, I want to make beats and do this music thing, where I'm trying to go, Atlanta. My thing was always Atlanta.
I was trying to go to New York or LA. Like, I feel like that because I have my journalism degree. I'd be like, damn, I can't. But then I see all these people making this shit happen, like right here. And they don't even have degrees for this shit. Like, you don't even... So, yeah.
It's not really about your location. It's about who you know, And not that being said, if I'm in Nebraska, I'm trying to get out of Nebraska.
Yeah, that's
true. Or
in,
like, South Dakota. But, something like Cleveland. Like,
we don't live in a city where we could just be totally overlooked because we have that talent come out of here.
My dad was the one that really kind of put it in perspective for me. He was like, why would you try and go to Atlanta when you can build something here and it may take longer to build here, but then you can be the one that can...
Say that you did this in your city.
And really shine. Like, even if you do go pop in, if you're from Cleveland and go pop in Atlanta, you amongst Gucci, Jeezy, Migos, like, it's not...
It was so many of them, like, even when we was growing up, like, Ludacris, Nelly, like, I mean, not Nelly, he from Missouri.
You just in the mix at that point.
You just in the mix with the,
For me to pop, or for somebody that we're associated to pop in Cleveland, will be a much bigger scene.
Yeah.
Much bigger accomplishment coming from Cleveland.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you got... New York is already blown up with they rappers, so I get what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about StreamSpace. What is that?
Oh, StreamSpace is the future. Yeah, it's a new platform that kind of started organically. I went live in the beginning of 2022 for one day for a week with some of the artists that I produce, and those live streams, over time, people.
I've been watching it grow though.
Yeah, people enjoy watching the live streams, and
like I've been seeing their followers go up.
and they're not. I don't think they're followers. They're people that love good music. They're people that love good entertainment. They love art, you know. That's what they are, you know.
What made you come up with that?
Well, I did it on accident. You know, like I said, I went live for that week and with artists that I produced, and the fans and the followers were like, yo, this is cool. And this was just friends, you know, like, yo, this is cool. She keep on doing it. It has a vibe, you know.
Oh, so, yeah, like during COVID time?
It was right at the end of COVID. So, like, artists didn't have it was slim pickings for, like, shows. Venues were closed. Some venues were closing. Some of them are closed. They're not even open anymore, you know. And then on the flip side, viewers were looking for content. And I can't go to a show, can't go to music festivals. Right. So it was at the end of that. So it came from that, you know. But then once I just started staying consistent, you know, we put a name behind it, got a logo, and it became a brand. And now it's a platform where. So
what's your future goals for it?
For StreamSpace? For the music aspect, to continue being a platform for either new artists to start their career, or artists that's already established can come and be in an intimate location, in an intimate setting, to give their fans something different, you know. But that's just music. We're tapping in with other, you know, outlets for art, dance, fashion, visual artists.
So you're trying to just spread it, make it like a world of entertainment.
Yeah, really, you know, entertainment. You know, I mean, we're doing collaborations with other bars, restaurants. You know, because you can really put on anything.
What about any movies, filming? What do you see with that?
It's in the future.
Okay,
it's definitely in the future for sure.
Okay.
Oh yeah. But it's crazy because like StreamSpace happened, like I don't say on accident because it was meant to be, but it happened very organically, you know. But the creation behind it is an everyday thing, you know, and it's just the process of trying to see what this really is, you know, as you keep staying consistent.
How hectic does it get?
Well, it's very hectic.
Overwhelming to you? It's
not overwhelming because like I'm trying to be great. Right. You know, I'm trying to be a millionaire, you know, multi-millionaire. So you ain't going to be that and not have something that's chaotic and crazy.
But you got to just keep going, like just keep making it work.
I would imagine Bill Gates' schedule is probably crazy. Maybe not now, he rich. He probably chill.
Not now, but the hardest times,
So like I embody that challenge already, you know, so let it be crazy. You know, that's what the calendar is for.
Start somewhere. It's got to begin somewhere.
Yeah. Time management is key.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate you for coming on my show.
Yeah.
I thank you for giving us that knowledge and that information.
Yeah.
So make sure y'all stay tuned for Savage Royale. Whatever he got coming up, StreamSpace, book with him for a beat, whatever.
He out here.
He out here.
Can I ask you a question?
For sure.
Did you watch Rihanna in the Super Bowl?
I did.
What'd you think?
I liked it. And I feel like whoever didn't like her performance and said it was mid or she ain't do shit was hating.
There was some haters out there.
Y'all was hating.
There was some haters out there.
She did her thing. And she did perform songs from 12 years ago and still get paid. She a billionaire. It's all good.
She didn't have to do that.
She didn't. She could have performed one song, that new song.
And just left.
She pregnant. She don't have to do that.
She was pregnant. We was like, is she pregnant? I was like, I think she's pregnant. We were like, but how? I'm like, I don't know, but I think she's pregnant.
They had a baby back to back.
Yeah, I was just like, okay. You don't see that too often, but she did it.
She did it.
But yeah,
and it looked great.
No, yeah, she did it too. Yeah, it looked great. But yeah, thanks for having me for sure.
For sure. So all of his information will be listed in the bio or at the bottom. Instagram, StreamSpace.
StreamSpace Official.
StreamSpace Official.
Savage_Royale.
You heard it. Right out of his mouth.
And then what is Dosage of Drea?
Yeah.
Is it just straight through? No underscore, no nothing?
At Dosage of Drea Show.
Don't forget the show.
Don't forget the show.
That's right.
But yeah, I appreciate you. He's doing big things, so stay tuned. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, all that good shit.
All that.
Any negativity will be blocked.
Get drug tested. Cut.